The final outcome is already poison for the sport because this ends with at least one division imploding and another one catching fire overnight. And if you think I'm exaggerating, you're already behind because this whole thing didn't start with chaos. It started with a smile in Dubai. And nah. That's the scary part, because when Khabib Nurmagomedov smiles while talking power, it's never friendly, it's final, and we need to rewind hard to understand how this quietly turned into a ticking bomb nobody is ready for yet. Yesterday looked harmless, right? Khabib Nurmagomedov and Khamzat Chimaev shaking hands, World Sports Summit, cameras flashing, fans calling it wholesome, but I'm watching that clip and my stomach drops because history doesn't smile before it changes. It pauses, and Khabib answering questions about retirement like it's carved in stone isn't closure, it's a warning, because when a man says never with that much calm, he's not done influencing. He's done obeying the sport.
When I see them pictures, well, when you see those pictures, do you ever think, you know, I'd like to get back in the ring one more time?
Get back where?
Pardon?
Octagon? You mean Octagon?
Yes, the Octagon.
No, honestly no, brother. Honestly, I'm about retirement. When I retired, I never think to coming back because it was very clear decision. Very, very clear decision. Of course, sometimes I want to compete with high-level guys, but in my gym, I have best fighters in the world. When I miss some competition, I go to the gym. I can find not only best guys in their division, I can find the best pound-for-pound guys in the world. And of course, I go and compete. This is in my blood. I love this. I love wrestling. I love competition. But going back to the cage, no.
Listen carefully to what he actually said, because it wasn't nostalgia, it wasn't longing, it was control. He admits he misses competition, but then laughs it off like it's salt, because his gym gives him pound-for-pound monsters on demand, and that's where the tone shifts, because if Khabib can simulate world title fights whenever he wants, then retirement didn't remove him from the game, it upgraded him, and nah, that part should make every contender nervous right now.
Well, I always was youngest, and I do everything what they told me, because we have rules. In our rules, if you're young, you're always wrong. Like, who's older, you're always right. There is rules, and you have to follow them. And somehow, like, when I finish my career, I become oldest in my team. I was oldest. It's like, okay, I have to take leadership. Who's gonna take over? Somebody have to lead the team. You know, you cannot just leave them alone. Today I'm become success, I was champion, I was on top, okay, see you guys tomorrow. It doesn't work like this. And I'm like, okay, I look around, like, who's here? Everybody is younger than me. And my father, rahimahullah, he passed away. I'm like, okay, I have to take this leadership, and I have to lead this team, and I have to continue my father's legacy. I understand I'm ready for this. You know, some people, they are not ready.
And then comes the leadership part, and people nod like it's inspirational. But I hear something darker, because when Khabib says he became the oldest and had to lead, that's not a feel-good story. That's a transfer of authority. That's him stepping into his father's shadow without blinking. And if you know anything about Abdelmanap's system, you know this isn't mentorship, it's command. And once that clicks, the entire Dagestani machine feels heavier, sharper, and way more organized.
But when we come to the gym, when we beginning in our training, and all of them know about this, there is no freedom speech. There is no freedom speech. Everybody do what I say if I'm coach. If I say I am in or out, there is no 50-50. And I try to push them very well. And if we look at the result, we have in almost every organization, we have champions, and we have some best fighters right now, and we are best team. I'm very happy. It's mean I'm doing good job.
When he says there's no freedom of speech in his gym, people online joke, but I'm telling you right now, that sentence alone should echo through every division, because champions don't grow in debate. They grow in silence and repetition. And when Khabib says there's no 50-50, that's him quietly explaining why his fighters keep winning while everyone else keeps arguing. And nah, something is being built there that the UFC hasn't fully reckoned with yet.
2 mais 1 igual a 3. Tem um cinturão aí um pouco acima da sua categoria que tá num negócio, tá numa situação esquisita, né? Tá de olho nele?
Eu falei do meu interesse, né, em estar lutando na categoria dos pesos pesados. Eu não sei, eu falei da Casa Branca com o John Jones. Já tinha falado também de uma luta, né? Até lutar no pesado, o terceiro cinturão. Mas eu não sei, não tá no meu controle, né? Eu tenho, né, as minhas vontades, mas também estou na expectativa, assim como todo mundo.
Now, smash cut to Khamzat Chimaev because this is where the calm turns violent. He's a champion now, defending in early 2026, but he's already bored, already staring past his own division, already calling Alex Pereira by name, and that's not ambition, that's disruption. Because champions who look up instead of around usually break the structure beneath them. And when Khamzat talks about 205 like it's nothing, it feels like a threat the UFC hasn't answered yet.
That's good fight for him, good fight for me. Everyone knows that UFC knows that, but UFC don't want to give this guy from me. So, and the guy say, oh, I come to your jiu-jitsu, wrestling, grappling, I don't know what. This grappling, jiu-jitsu is not our job. Our job UFC fighter, you know. So he said he can't fight with the Duplessis. He accept the fight. But now he say like, oh, it's Khamzat, not good fight. Yeah, he's saying like he's more famous than me. That's why I'm using his name, bro. This guy, if I just say hi in my story in Instagram, I make more views on his fight. So I don't think so. This guy more famous than me. You know?
Alex Pereira, brushing that off, should have ended the story, but instead it detonated it, because when Pereira starts talking heavyweight, John Jones, third bell dreams, White House cards, that's not coincidence. That's deflection or genius, and I can't tell which yet, but Khamzat firing back immediately, accusing him of excuses, accusing him of hiding behind star power. Nah, that's personal, and when fighters stop talking matchups and start talking motives, someone's lying.
I don't think so. He wants that fight. He knows about it, and UFC know about it. So I can't say the things what UFC says, but it's gonna be not respect for Alex. Because everyone knows this guy is not my level, you know. So yeah, he's a good striker, one of the best strikers. I give the respect for him. He has knockout power and everything. Yeah, but brother, like ask whoever 99% in the world who's watching the UFC, so they're gonna tell you who is gonna win.
Khamzat saying everyone knows the difference in levels is wild, reckless, almost disrespectful, but that's why it lands, because he still gives Pereira his flowers as a striker while stripping him of safety everywhere else. And that's the psychological knife, because now every fan watching starts asking the same question. Why won't Pereira just shut him up? And when a question like that hangs too long, suspicion grows teeth.
What about the current middleweight champion, Khamzat Chimaev? What do you make of him and his skill set?
Well, he's a beast. He's an amazing fighter. But I put on my chance in Alex.
Against him if they ever fought.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva stepping in to back Pereira should calm things down, but it does the opposite. Because when legends protect someone, it reframes the danger. And Khamzat dismissing Pereira's power like it's irrelevant feels insane until you remember how many strikers said the same thing about wrestlers right before everything collapsed. And nah, this matchup feels delayed, not denied, and delayed fights usually explode harder.
Если спросить меня, мне, конечно, хочется за второй пояс подраться. Для меня, никому не секрет, тот парень, который сейчас 93, если в стойке с ним не заигрываться, для меня очень удобный соперник. Да, все говорят, вот слишком мощный парень, но где-то в мощи я нигде не уступал никому, поэтому я думаю, он тоже 84 выступал и перешел в 93. Хотелось бы 93 подраться, а так там Насруддина дадут, или Ридера дадут, или Эрнандеса. Мне особой такой разницы нет, чтобы самое главное заплатили хорошо.
Then Ben Askren pokes the bruise, casually reminding everyone about Pereira's ground problems, and that shouldn't be controversial. But it shakes the narrative because once pressure gets mentioned around Khamzat's name, highlight reels stop feeling permanent. And Askren's frustration about weight hopping isn't random. It's a warning that nobody wants to commit because committing means exposure, and someone here is absolutely stalling for time.
Can present the biggest challenge to him.
Pereira's an interesting match because you still have this image of Israel Adesanya, who is not a takedown expert, taking down and holding down Pereira. So, that's a hard image to shake out of your head when you think, Pereira would have to beat Chimaev. But now Pereira's talking about moving up also. It's like, dude, these guys just find a weight class and then fight a bunch of people. Honestly, one of the things that I was so impressed by Merab this year is like, who defends their title that much? It was so impressive, and I know he lost the last one, but his run that he had there was so impressive.
Michael Bisping comes in sounding confident that this fight won't happen. And that confidence is loud, because Bisping reads rooms better than most. And the room says Pereira wants spectacle, wants timing, wants leverage, while Tom Aspinall is sitting half blind, talking about double eye surgery. And that alone could reroute the entire heavyweight division, because injuries don't just heal bodies, they rewrite plans.
It is going to be an insane card from start to finish, and probably the best fight card or the greatest fight card that's ever been assembled going down at the White House. It's insane. Pereira wants to be in that card, and if he doesn't get that, he wants to fight for the heavyweight title. Now, as we know, that's a little bit of a complicated issue right now, because Tom Aspinall had the eye injury where he got double eye poked. Apparently, he's still having issues, and when he does come back, he's got to fight Cyril Gane, okay? Unless, and could you believe this, and it isn't going to happen, they bring in an interim title. They bring in an interim title at heavyweight, and Cyril Gane fights Alex Pereira for an interim title while Tom Aspinall gets his vision back, or he all recovers and all the rest of it. Because there is talk actually down the line that maybe there would be a need for surgery, and I hope that isn't the case, of course.
Aspinall preaching patience sounds noble until you remember how fast this sport forgets patience, because while he heals, others move, interim titles get whispered about, and suddenly Gane versus Pereira doesn't sound impossible, it sounds convenient, and nah, if that thought crossed your mind too quickly, you're already sensing how artificial this whole structure feels right now.
Surgery now is the focus, and then we'll kick on to 2026, right?
That's the plan. That's the plan. But by the time this is going out, they probably have had surgery on one side already. Next surgery's coming mid-January, so we're working towards getting back, and that's the plan.
Has there been thoughts of whether you'd be able to fight again?
I'm just thinking about my health at the minute, to be honest. I'm not even thinking about any of that stuff, because you got to like take one step at a time, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't be doing that. Obviously, the plan is to go back and beat the living daylights out of Cyril Gane. That's the plan. But right now, the short-term plan is to get back to where I should be, get back in the...
Khamzat refusing Imavov is where everything turns raw, because now it's not rankings, it's culture, religion, brotherhood, and Bisping snapping back is inevitable, because from his angle, champions who won't fight stall divisions, and stall divisions rot, and Imavov explaining his mother's stance hits harder than any trash talk, because now this fight isn't fists, it's family, mountains, and consequences nobody wants to own publicly.
There is an anger there, isn't there? I can see. I know you're smiling, and I know that there's, you know, your normal self, but there's definitely an anger there towards everything that's happened.
Yeah, I'm ready to get back, but my health's got to be right first. I ain't gonna do nothing compromised. I'm not gonna let my ego take over. Everything's got to be right. So when the time is right, however that looks, whenever that is, that's the plan.
Khamzat Chimaev went on to say that he doesn't want to fight Nasruddin Imavov, okay, because Imavov is from Dagestan and they're all Muslims, and there'd be a lot of drama and problems and stuff like that.
If you ask me, I don't want to fight this guy because he's like, we know each other.
That shouldn't matter. There's billions of Muslims on the planet. You can say that because you're both Muslim, you can't fight one another. Look, listen, this all needs to stop. The best should be fighting the best. We know that. And of course, the champions, they want to take on the biggest matchups because they want to get the biggest paydays, and I commend them for that. But I've said it many times in the past, you really need to defend the belt in your weight class 3 times before you even think about moving on, or you've got to vacate the belt. You've got to vacate the belt, keep the division moving on, and then you go up to the next division.
How you spent time in the cage with Nasruddin, how real of a chance do you give him in that fight against Chimaev? Because he probably will be an underdog, I would have assumed.
Yeah, I definitely think he has a chance. His striking is good. He's fast. He's pretty quick. But there's not a lot of pop on the punches, to be honest. If Chimaev has good defense, I think he'll be okay there. But I don't know. I think Chimaev will be able to get him down. I think he'll get him down at some point. Imavov's ground isn't really that great. Like he doesn't really do a whole lot, which does make it hard to be offensive when you're just being 100% defensive and you just don't care about anything but not getting finished. It's really hard to get a finish, but I think Chimaev, if he gets him down, can make him work, and I think it'd be a good fight, but I think Chimaev would win.
The UFC confirming February anyway is the coldest part of all this, because inevitability doesn't care about respect, and Chimaev admitting it will happen despite everything feels like resignation, not hype. And when analysts already favor Khamzat on the ground before the cage door even closes, pressure multiplies. Because Chimaev isn't just fighting Khamzat, he's fighting the idea that the outcome is already written.
Imavov's getting the title shot. I think that's the only thing that really makes sense now is Imavov getting that shot at the belt. But I think it's going to be an interesting fight. I think Khamzat wins that fight for sure. As for myself, like I said, I don't really know. The whole division's been mixed up. When you have Imavov and Kaio fighting, these two guys emerge as potential contenders. The winner there is the contender. Not a great fight, in my opinion. Those two guys stood there, and there was moments of brilliance, make no mistake, and I rate Kaio Bahar. I picked him to win that fight. But it's on the night he just didn't show up. He just didn't show up.
Hamzat saying he doesn't want to fight Imavov. He said one is Chechnya, Dagestan. Obviously, there's history behind that, and they don't want anything serious to happen with that. I know he's calling out Pereira. I'm excited for either one of those fights, whichever one that happens. What do I think will happen? If they make the Pereira fight, which I don't think Pereira would do that because he's already talking about going up to 205, but that will leave an opening. He's going up to heavyweight, so that would leave an opening at 205 where it could be Yuri against Chimaev, which I think would be a fun one for sure. I think Chimaev's wrestling is good enough to go up to heavyweight if he wanted to. You've seen how he picked up John Jones recently in their video. What do I think will happen? I don't know. I don't know if Imavov's come out and said anything yet about it, but we've seen the history with Khabib's team and Chimaev, and then them shaking it up. It goes deeper than that. It's understandable for sure.
Well done to Imavov for winning that fight. He did what he had to do, but yeah, right now you don't have anybody who's consistently winning, and that's the problem. How do you pick a contender? You have guys that fight two great fights, one terrible one. The consistency isn't there, but there's so many good fighters. It's just a consistency. So glad it's not my job to pick the fights.
And this is where I stop pretending this is settled, because it's not Khabib's growing authority, not Khamzat's next move, not Pereira's silence, not Aspinall's recovery, because every calm statement right now feels rehearsed. Every plan feels temporary. And I swear someone in this story is hiding something big. And when it finally slips, this whole thing could snap overnight, and we're not at the end, we're right before the fracture.